Hey BookTube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I made this entire video outside and the wind was just crazy. My hair was going everywhere. It was kind of a mess. And I also tried to talk about something that I'm just not ready to talk about on BookTube. So that scrapped about half of my video. So this is gonna be a much shorter Friday Reads video than originally planned, but that's okay, that's cool. So I told you last week that I had finished reading East of Eden, and I have to tell you, like, I'm still thinking about it. Like, it's still in my brain, or on my mind, I guess, maybe. Man, that's such a great book, right? Wow. I did, however, finish reading Nick Hornby's songbook. And I read this as a buddy read with Nancy, who you probably know from the comment section as Moon Poem. I'm really hoping that she's going to leave some comments on this video so that you guys can hear her thoughts. Nancy just has a tremendous wealth of knowledge about not only books but music and movies, and I got so much more pleasure from this book by reading it with her. So she was definitely the right one for this. So it was great. The last series of essays in the book, with the exception of the one about Patti Smith, I did not really care for that much. One of them is about splicing music, or I don't even know what the technical term for it is, but yeah, like, just because you make sound, that doesn't necessarily, in my mind at least, make music. Or at least you need to ask yourselves, or I need to ask myself, is this actually music? And there were a couple of songs using this example of splicing things together, and I made it through about 30 seconds of those songs. So anyway, really interesting read. It was a finalist for music criticism from the National Book Critics Circle Award, I believe. Really, truly, the joy from this came from Nancy's Voxer messages. So I hope she will tell you her thoughts about this book down below in the comments section. And if you've read it, again, I would love to know what you thought of it. I still really love Nick Hornby, and the parts of the book that just really were the most pleasurable for me was Nick Hornby talking about his books, his writing process, things that connected to his personal life, I guess. So that's what I really took away from it. His series of books about books, starting with the Polysyllabic Spree, is definitely superior in my mind to this one. But again, like, I do not have the kind of relationship with music that Nick Hornby does, and we certainly have different definitions about what pop music is, I guess, if you will. I was not really sure what was going to happen with Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard. This is another proposed buddy read, and I kept waiting to hear from my buddy and didn't hear anything, and finally heard, that she's just been struggling with some stuff, which is totally understandable. So I think we're still going to try to read this book, and it just may be a very, very slow buddy read, and that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. No big deal. There is no rush. And maybe we'll get more out of it by reading it slowly. I actually, for a little bit, thought that I was just like, well, I've hardly read any of the books, so I'm just gonna move on to something else. And Jason told me, he said, well, that's a shame, because that would have been the best book you read this year. And I'm like, I've read such good books this year. Like, really, like, holy cow, I have read so many great books. And Jason was like, no, that one would be the best. And I even brought up East of Eden, our mutual friend. Jason's, no, Pilgrim at Tinker Creek is better. is better than those books, according to Jason. So we'll see. And like I said, so you'll just see this for more Friday reads than normal, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't think I don't really believe in the philosophy that, you know, she who dies having read the most books wins. And so while I was waiting to figure out what was happening with that book, I started reading A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr. And this is one of, I believe, about 6 books that I bought at the end of 2020. And I asked all of you to help me to decide which books to buy. And this is one I'd never even heard of it. Which, you know, as I've started reading it, I'm more surprised that I hadn't heard of it, but I am just loving this. I'm really only about 30 pages in. I have about 100 pages to go. I could finish it this weekend, but there's also a part of me that's like, oh, I kind of want to read it a little bit slower. I like to have it done by the end of the month. So, you know, that's just adding 2 more days to it, but I just don't want to sit down in one fell swoop. It seems like a book that wants me to take my time with it, I guess. So I'm super, super excited, and I'm so glad that you guys brought this book to my attention. I really do want to read all 6 books that I bought at the end of 2020, most of them based on your recommendations, before the year is over. So definitely have some progress to make there. But anyway, so that's what I'm reading. I'd love to hear what you're reading. If there's a book that we've talked about previously and you want to update me, tell me what's, you know, just check in, say hello, leave an emoji, whatever the case may be. I also really want to thank you guys for your comments on my last Friday Reads video. I really, your comments really carried me through another challenging week. And it just meant a lot. It meant a lot to me. So thank you for that. As far as filming goes, I do hope to get some filming done this weekend. I hope that I can, catch up on some tags and get you a September TBR. So hopefully this week I'll have a little bit more, and then I tell you what, like September, like all bets are off as far as what kind of videos I'm going to be able to make, but we'll see what happens. So fingers crossed, right? Booktube, remember to be kind to yourself and be kind to others, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.